Don't. Look at that. Speaking into the microphone. Doom. All right. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I don't know what microphone it's using. It says it's supposed to be using the red one. It says red microphone right here. It says on it. It says it's on this one. All right. So we're going to try this. A little bit late for a couple of reasons. Number one, I am not feeling well. Number two, it's hot out here. Number three, Rumble wouldn't connect for some reason, and I could have just blown it off. I could have just said, forget it, not worry about it. But I didn't. I stayed at it till I got where I needed to be with Rumble. So it looks like we're okay. I don't know if everybody can hear me now. You guys are going to have to tell me 5x5 or see what's going on. I can't tell. Looks like Gen X Mom is way back in the distance, and she's giving me the thumbs up. So that must mean part of this is a go. Now, I'm going to try to read Facebook Blue. Looks like Chad Hoffman's in here. John Nunes, Dale Wine, Aaron Heath, the usual suspects, along with Daryl White and Diablito. All right, so look it. There's all sorts of stuff we could talk about today. There's all sorts of ins and outs and wherefores and what have yous. I'm going to rely heavily on you guys for questions today. If we don't have a lot of questions, being I do not feel well, I'm going to cut this thing off about half an hour, about 30 minutes. But I didn't want to not show up. That was important. I didn't have time to do the things I wanted to do. Complications hit upon complications, but consistency to make sure we're at least here to say hello. That was the main thing. So if there's any questions in here, let me scroll through Facebook Blue, see if anybody comes up with anything. Staff is open to questions also if you got something. Don't. You're here because this is where the cool kids are. Graham Gordon says hello, checking in over on Facebook Blue. Is that why I'm on Facebook Blue? Is that why I'm not on YouTube? Are the cool kids in Facebook Blue? I think so. So that's probably why we're doing it. We're not on Facebook Personal tonight. So if you're dancing around trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, you're going to have to look. We got two Facebook. One's a profile. One's a blue page. We're on the blue page. That's why I keep saying the word blue. I'm saying it in a funny accent so you guys know what the hell I'm talking about. All right. So there's no questions over here. Don't everybody just saying...
Volume's a little low. I don't know if you can adjust
volume's a little low. Well, I have one adjustment. One I can make with that. Let me try to do it. This is the only thing I got. One adjustment when we have the red mic. And this is it. All right, that was it. That's the red mic. That's up. Unless there's something to adjust here, but how do you adjust this?
Instead, it tells you it can pick up just the sound in front of you. There's different things in the back. Little dial.
Yeah, I got it. I'm looking at the little dial.
Oh, they said they can hear you now, whatever you did.
Whatever I did. All right. I don't know if you guys can hear me now. Better, worse, up, down, left, right?
That's it right there, Danny H said. Gotcha.
Well, as long as Danny H says so, I guess it's goddamn good to go. You know, I'm yelling with the garage door open. That's how we get the light in the front here. And what's funny is that all the neighbors can hear me. Like if they're out front walking around, I'm yelling. So they can hear everything that I'm doing. Like, what the fuck is that guy doing over there? We did have a visitor today, didn't we, just before? It was someone who seemed interested in what we were doing, but
She says, are you new neighbors? She goes, are you the new neighbors?
The new neighbors, that's right.
They've been here 22 years.
Holy shnikey. Well, anyway, they don't know much about social media or Gen X Talks. Probably don't know anything about Gen X Talks, but she was keenly interested, and no, her name wasn't Keenly. So, yeah, is there anything in here? Well, somebody asked what my number one tool was. My garage is my number one tool. When everything is put away in all my toolboxes, and I have everything laid out, ready to go. I got my wood tools, my mechanic tools. I got all my household stuff. My garage is my number one tool because, you know, if Gen X Mom comes in and there's a squeak on the truck, then I got to replace the belt. Got automotive tools for that. If she says there's something wrong with the washing machine, you got tools for that too. My number one tool is my garage. I try to have as many tools on hand as possible. Gen X Mom.
Dave Hollingsworth, YouTube.
Dave Hollingsworth, over on YouTube.
Is a 67 big block out of 442 worth rebuild after sitting for 40 years.
Read that to me again.
Is a 67 big block out of 442? 442?
Yeah, 442.
Worth rebuild after sitting for 40 years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those things, the question was 67 big block out of an Oldsmobile 442, even though it's been sitting for 40 years, is it worth rebuilding? Yeah, absolutely it is. those things, you'd think that big iron motors like that would rust beyond repair. And unless it's been rebuilt 3 times before, unless somebody's already bored out those cylinders as far as they can go, if they've already gone 30 over, maybe you can't. But that would have less to do with the age. That'd have more to do with what was done to it before. But if it's all original, man, there'd be people that would line up they'd kill their grandparents to get that motor. Yes, absolutely. You hang on to that, you rebuild that. Gen X Mom.
Graham Gordon, I think over on Facebook.
Yeah.
What's your number one tool except Briggs? What's a great first car for a 17-year-old daughter going to college in a year?
I kind of have the same answer. That's a 2-part question. That was Graham who asked about what's your favorite tool, and I think I answered that. If you're a mechanic, you might have a favorite mechanics tool. If you're a construction guy, your hammer maybe your favorite tool. But when you don't do anything specific like that, my favorite tool is my garage, and having as many things organized and labeled in it as I can. It's not right now, but it will be soon, because we're still unpacking, believe it or not. But the other question was, what's a good car for a teenage girl going to college? I'll tell you, the best cars that I've ever found, and this I used to get asked this all the time when I had a shop. This had to have been probably the most popular question that my regular customers would come in and say, hey, my kid's turning 16, I'm going to get him a car, or I got someone going away to college. A 4-cylinder Japanese engine. Toyota, Honda, don't get fancy, don't get creative. You get a car that doesn't have just the fewer bells and whistles you can. A base model car. Do not get the SVXs, do not the WRXs, don't get you look up like what a baseline Toyota Camry. Celica, just a base model car. Yes, you want it to have air conditioning. Yes, it'll probably have power windows. But if you get a base model 4-cylinder Japanese engine car, that thing is going to last longer than you and me put together. You got to get a car that's 4-cylinder. It's simple. It's cheap to work on. It's very reliable. It's easy to get parts. There's millions of them on the road. There's millions of parts available in all the parts houses all over the world. And they're reliable. The higher up you go in trim packages, and this is for anybody, it's just Chevrolet and Ford, the higher up you get away from a base model Ford pickup truck to their highest one, the base model Chevy pickup truck or the GMC to a Denali, the stuff that's going to break on that, the cost you're going to go through for the bells and whistles to keep them going with the heated seats and the heated steering wheel, and the reflective glass, I'm telling you, talking about a $1,000 window versus, a $300 window on your front windshield. Just pick, you're going to get a car that can get banged up and be repaired. Guess what? It's easy to find fenders and bumpers and doors. When they get dinged, and quarter panels are cheap and easy to repair when kids are learning how to drive. I have given that speech more than I've probably given any other speech in my life, other than the lies I told my wife to make her sleep with me. I told a lot of those lies. But I'm kind of past that now, so we're back to the car store. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
John Watson, Facebook Blue.
John Watson, Facebook Blue.
Have you seen the article on the new Ford Rancher? Do you have an opinion?
No, not yet. I've seen a little bit on that. My jury's still out. I don't have anything to offer on that just yet. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
Diabolito, Facebook Blue.
Everybody, look who's on Facebook Blue, coming on strong with the questions, baby.
What is a great carburetor for a 350 small block?
The question was from Diablito on Facebook Blue. What is a great carburetor for a small block Chevy engine? I'm assuming he's talking about older ones, street rod, rat rod type of thing. Stuff you drive around in parades on Sundays because the smog environment won't let you drive them any other time. Wide open. If your foot's going to be in the carburetor the whole time, you're going to be mashed on the floor. Holly, wide, just get a 700, 750, just go, man, go. Now, if you want some idling, would you like it to not? Hollies hereditarily don't idle so well. And I know everyone's scared of quadrajets. They call them quadrajunks. I know. I've heard it all before. But if you build a quadrajet just right, you take your time, you put the plugs in it, you get the metering wants how they're supposed to be, nothing's bent. There's no gaps in the body because it's warped or something. No one's over tightened it. telling you, quadrajets run really well. When you get them to run, they run real well, and they run good wide open. They idle real well. That's a real common one to put on there. There's other ones too. Boy, you can come with a list of them because so many people make carburetors now. But you got to remember, all the carburetors, even all the aftermarket carburetors now, they're made on an assembly line with zero quality control. Because we used to buy those at our shop. Someone would say, "Well, I want this carburetor." They want an AFB carburetor, specifically a 3-barrel AFB high performance. All right, so you go get one, and you got to swap it out 3 or 4 times because it's not right. And I'm not going to rebuild it for the parts house. Give me another one. Give me one that works. Luckily, they're easy to change in and out, and they give you new gaskets. But anything you get like that, just be prepared. You might have to take it back a couple times. You may have to start doing some of the tweaking on it yourself. Carburetors are not rebuilt the way they used to be off an assembly line. They're not put together like they used to be. But if I had 3 sitting here that I was going to rebuild for a small block Chevy, and one of them was a quadrajet, I have no problem doing it. I got all the tools for it right here. Done a ton of them. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
Jane Jenkins, Facebook Blue.
Jane Jenkins on Facebook Blue.
Hey, buddy, just checking in from North Wales, UK.
Wow, checking in from North Wales, UK. So I don't even know what time it's got to be there, but if it's 6:20 here, it's got to be a little bit early in the morning there. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
Rumble's checking in. Dr. Shadowlight wants to know, would you consider going on the Jaded Mechanic podcast? I think that would be a hell of an episode, especially being a mechanic and former owner.
Yeah, I've never said no to anybody who's ever asked me to be on their podcast or on their shows. We've been on a bunch of them. Anybody who calls up and says, "Hey, can you make time?" Sure, I'd go do it. Just why not? I don't mind at all. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
Chad Hoffman, Facebook Blue. General, what vehicle would you take for a ride on the Autobahn in Germany?
What vehicle? The question from who? Was that Chad Hoffman, you said?
Yes, it was.
Chad Hoffman on Facebook Blue asked, what vehicle would I take for a ride on the Autobahn in Germany? Well, you guys remember watching Ford versus Ferrari with the GT40s? If I get my hands on one of those, I would. But if not, 67 AC Cobra. I don't know, man, because you get to go as fast as you want. Those lanes are just wide open. Never really thought about that. Never pictured myself getting to Germany unless it's by a boat. Certainly not getting on a goddamn plane. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
Doug Herman on YouTube.
Doug Herman on YouTube.
I have a Scott Schrafe 427 small block Ford.
Yeah, not familiar with that, how you're saying
With
that.
a 950 CFM quick fuel carb. Is it over carbureted?
Read that again. What was the question? What's the engine on that again?
He's
got a what?
Scott Schrafe.
Okay.
SCHRAFF 427.
427.
Small block Ford.
You have a small block 427?
With a 950 CFM quick fuel carb.
9 with it. You have over 900 CFM carb. Boy, you better have. You're over carbureted unless you got one hell of a cam in there. That cam and that compression is going to have to be really thirsty to drink all that fuel. That's a big carb. I'm not sure you need that much. That's quite a bit. Even on a big block, that would be pushing it. Unless you had your cam, unless you had a big thirsty cam on that thing and some compression drinking that, I don't know. And even then, I bet you'd choke up at idle after a while. You'd have to throttle your way through the idle once in a while. It'd load up on you. I'd have to think it would load up on you. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Gen X Mom.
Berserker 70.
Berserker 70.
What do you recommend for a starter toolkit for first-time home buyers? Sorry.
What starter toolkit for first-time home buyers? There used to be. This is dumb to say, but the go-to one. A lot of old timers older than me would vouch for me on this one. If you were going to get a starter kit for a home kit, you go to Craftsman. And Craftsman at Sears used to have a stand-up on their tool aisle. They had all the screwdrivers, all the wrenches, all the socket suppliers, a saw, a hammer. Everything is a master toolkit. And it wasn't just automotive. It was like around the house use. I don't think Sears makes that anymore, but if they did, boy, that'd be the set I'd get to start with. Now, I do believe that you can piece together some stuff at Lowe's. I've seen some pretty big kits there that cover screwdrivers and wrenches and hammers and sockets, and then there's another set that has some wood tools, and it's got a saw and it's got a tree saw and some things in it like that. Comes with a pipe wrench and some stuff. I'd have to look into that, and I don't think, and I wouldn't even be afraid of some of the stuff, some of the higher end stuff that Harbor Freight is selling these days. I probably wouldn't be too mad about those, but I don't think anybody's got any big kits anymore, because there was a time in fact, you want to know what kit to build. Would you like to know what kit to put together? Try to look back, see if on Google somewhere you can see an advertisement, or you can see a picture with the list and the stuff. Say, I want from the late 70s, the big Sears Craftsman tool set, starter tool set. And it had 611 pieces, 613 pieces. And if you can see that, and you can see, oh, there's this many wrenches, and it shows you, because people do that. They still have clips of the old advertisements, and they're clear. They're good pictures. You can still read everything. You find that set, go build that set. You build that set right there, and you've got a great start, especially if you're giving it as a gift to someone to get going. That's the set you'd build. You mimic that, and you'd be real damn close. I wouldn't be disappointed to give that to anybody. Yeah, Genix Mom.
Running Deer 1971.
Running Deer 1971. You know what that means? He's an Indian.
Member for 23 months on YouTube.
And that means Running Deer. You know how Indians got their name? Is that when you're born, like the Indian medicine man, he grabs the baby as soon as he's born, and the first thing he sees, that's your name. So, Running Deer. Pulls out a kid, White Cloud, right? If you're near a bathroom, kid might be called Running Water. And that's why my brother was called Two Dogs Fucking. But anyway, I'm sorry.
Hydrate for a minute.
Hydrating. Go ahead.
Running Deer 1971.
Running Deer 1971.
My father-in-law bought me a Ranger back in 2009.
Yep.
Fleet truck. No power anything. No power brakes, no power steering, etc. I have AC, that's about it. And it's 2025. Not many problems with it to this day.
Talking about getting in 2009, someone got a baseline Ranger, like a work truck. No power anything. No power windows, no... What did you say, did have air conditioning or did not? Just had air conditioning and a heater. Everything else was the most basic run-of-the-mill. Probably had an AM radio in it back then. And guess what? His comment was, no big problems. Every time you add bells and whistles to a car, creature comforts for people to make them like your product, buy your product, that is all shit that is going to break, and it's going to break right after warranty, and it's going to suck to repair it because it's expensive. Just so you guys know, the more bells and whistles you buy, the worse it gets. Yeah, Genix Mom.
Dale Rainey YouTube.
Dale Rainey on YouTube.
I've driven 6-cylinder Nissan Frontiers since '94.
6-cylinder Nissan Frontiers. He's driven them since 1994.
First one had 250,000 on it.
250,000 miles on that bad boy.
Second one had 350,000.
Second one had 300 and some thousand.
Third one had 777,000.
Holy shit, the third one had 700,000. Now, hold on.
Very.
He's got 1.3 million miles in trucks since 94. That's 31 years. He's gone 1.3 million miles.
Very few problems, except the heater core went bad in all of them and had to be replaced.
Heater core went bad in all the Nissans. Yeah, you're lucky the exhaust manifold bolts didn't break in every one of those, too. That was a huge problem a long time ago. Genix Mom.
Jonathan Robert King, Facebook.
Jonathan Robert King on Facebook.
I've always been a Chevrolet fan.
Okay, Chevy guy.
When Ford came out with that military-grade aluminum body on their trucks, that firmly set my roots in Team Chevy.
Yeah, he's always been. He's talking about always being a firm Chevrolet fan, and then Ford came out with military-grade aluminum on their beds and their bodies, and it just and he was very happy with his Chevrolet decisions at that point. It was bad. I know guys that worked at Ford, and you couldn't throw things in the bed of the truck without denting or putting a hole in the bed sometimes. You don't try to throw things in the bed of any of your trucks that are going to, you don't throw a sofa back there and try to gouge it, scratch it. You don't want to dent it up. You try not to fuck up the truck, but it's a truck bed. It's kind of what it's for. You throw stuff in there, you can put logs in there, and you throw things in there. And there were repeatedly complaints coming back in that they were just doing normal guy stuff, hauling motorcycles and throwing tools back there and sliding their ramps in, denting or putting holes in the bed of the truck. I've seen pictures of it, so I don't know why somebody thought that was a good idea. But then I'm I'm living in the land of Target and Bud Light and someone who decided the old boy on Cracker Barrel needed to go. So what the fuck do I know? Because none of these people ever call me. Nobody ever calls up and says, hey, General, we're about to do something here. What do you think? Because I can think of about 12 different times I'd have gone, fuck, no, don't do that. But nobody ever asked me. Gen X Mom.
Dr. Shadowlight on Rumble.
Dr. Shadowlight on Rumble. Dr. Shadowlight is the self-appointed emperor of the Banana Sauce Union.
It looks like 2500 or F250 gas or diesel. All the diesels I've looked at have lots of miles.
Yeah, well, diesels will go. The question is between F250 or a 3/4 ton Ford, 3/4 ton Chevy, gas or diesel. 3/4 ton Chevys and 3/4 ton Fords are going to be very similar in how long they last. Parts replacement, not going to be a lot different. Parts are readily available. Proven vehicles for a long time. A lot of them out there, millions out there on the road. Workhorses, they do a good job. Diesel and gasoline comes down to personal preference more than anything. You know, there was a time when diesel was so much less expensive, guys went with diesel because of the fuel price. Then it got to be fairly similar. Sometimes they'd trade places on prices. They're always neck and neck, it seemed like. Then it was more like if you needed power. Now, Sun Valley Fox and I have almost the same truck. I have a GMC half-ton. He has a Chevrolet heavy 3/4 ton. With the same truck design. I mean, almost similarities are uncanny. But his is a big diesel engine. And it's we both have 4-wheel drive, but he has much bigger suspension. He's got bigger axles, bigger drivetrain, bigger transfer case. 3/4 ton to half ton is a huge difference. 3/4 ton between Chevrolet and Ford, there are some similarities, but it really comes down to personal preference. Do you want the bow ties, or do you want the blue badge of Ford? Do you want a diesel engine because it's powerful? Because Sun Valley Fox's truck would pull my truck backwards on its side and upside down the street, up a hill, and up a tree. That's how tough his truck is. That's the difference between a big heavy diesel and a gas engine half-ton. But this suits my needs for what I'm doing. You're not going to be able to prove to anybody which is better, gas or diesel the other way, except right now, what is Chevrolet going through a big, huge lawsuit because of their CP3 pumps ruining engines. That was a flaw. They knew about that though. There's some things that they're correcting or are correctable on the diesel, but overall, if you're not talking about just that one specific pump failure going bad on GM, diesels are a lot tougher and usually go a lot longer. Can do a lot more than a gas engine, dollar for dollar. Yeah.
Star Roberts just gifted 10 memberships on YouTube.
I hope you got me one because I'd like to watch this show sometimes. Thanks, Star Roberts. Thank you. Appreciate that, buddy.
Cody Miller, 94, checking in on YouTube.
Cody Miller, 94 on YouTube.
I worked at a Ford dealership dealing with those trucks with people doing exactly as you say, tossing things, toolboxes into it, punching holes through by mistake. It was a bad idea on Ford's end.
Yeah, and how do what was that guy's name? You said Cody?
Cody.
So there's a guy like Cody working at Ford, and he's trying to do a good job on every vehicle he's working on. He's trying to pull his weight, do his stuff, promote the product, carry the water for Ford like you're supposed to, because I did the same thing when I was a dealership mechanic, so I get it. And then they come up with stupid shit like this, and how do you defend that? How do you have a conversation at a barbecue? How do you talk about that with your friends? How do you talk about that when you see some guy goes, oh, you work at Ford, you motherfucker. Look at what do? You just stand there and take it. It's a bad idea, and it's a bad look on the entire company. It makes us all look bad.
Cricket on YouTube.
Cricket? I remember Cricket.
What RV would you recommend? Class C Chevy or Ford, or just a good old trailer behind our Chevy Avalanche? We can't decide.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I've been out of the RV game for too long. I probably wouldn't have anything competent to say. The thing I liked about pulling a fifth wheel or pulling a travel trailer was that once your camp set up, you got your vehicle to go do stuff. And if you have an RV, you're kind of limited unless you tow something behind the RV. And now you got to think about that. You got to get something big enough to be your RV and to tow something. You can't just tow everything with little rigs. If you're just going to go weekend camping and stuff, dry camping for yourself, either one, Ford or a Chevy, they're going to come on 1-ton chassis frames. They're going to have big engines in them. They're going to be nice. I wouldn't recommend a diesel for that. You don't need it. But the trailer option sure gives you more out there. Now they're not as easy to get into places, and in a panic mode, if you got to hurry up and leave, it's a lot easier to leave in something you're driving than something you're pulling. But it all depends on what you're comfortable with. Gen X Mom.
Kristen Hartman on YouTube.
Kristen Hartman.
General, what would be your thoughts on adding a little ER or Lucas to the transmission on my new to me 1500 to help it stand up to trailering better?
Yeah, there's some. She's Kristen Hartman's asking a question about what do you put in if you bought a used vehicle whether it's got miles on the transmission. There are some good products. I'd have to call up Brandon at Brandon's Transmission down in Bakersfield, California. He builds 1,000,000-mile transmissions. He'll build you a transmission that won't ever fail, ever. Unless it leaks and runs out of fluid and you don't notice it. I'd ask him what the new stuff is because he always stays up on what the new cutting edge fluids are and what he knows the bad ones too. He knows which ones to stay away from. He's seen them. I'll have to call on that. Send me an email, genxdad@genxtalks.com. Let me look at that for you because I'll find that out. Hydrating.
No-Go's checking in. He's been disappearing for a little bit.
The hell No-Go.
Member for 41 months. Still hanging on to the bus, General. Can't listen as much, but still love you guys.
I wanted to show you guys something too. Thanks, No-Go, for checking in. I appreciate that. Hanging on the outside of the bus. What did I do with those, man? I just had that. I had a thing with those trailer lights. Those ones. I don't think that's it. Those aren't the battery ones. We had those in here. I was going to show them this thing because they work so well. I had them sitting right here. I thought they were in a box. They weren't in a box like this. Because this is the other one of these. This is the one we're wiring in. These are the ones that are wired in place. But I had the other ones. Are they in the house? Are they by the kitchen on the counter?
I don't know. No, that's a shower.
You're sure they're not in there? They were just out here too. I just had these. And somebody came out and rearranged it. Let me see that. That's the box.
This one?
Yeah, but the lights aren't.
They're right here.
Well, then we have the lights.
I don't know what lights you're talking about.
Chicks, man. Chicks.
These?
Yeah. I know you guys have seen these, and I want to tell you, I want you to think about this. I'm not getting paid to do this, okay? We do have an affiliate link. That means if you buy one, I get $1 or something for it. But listen to me. When you guys travel, you guys take a spare tire with you. You take a jack with you. You take a flashlight, don't you? You take some tools with you. You bring some things you think you're going to need. But nobody who's pulling a trailer, and believe me, this happens a lot. Your trailer wire gets cut, or it drags, or it gets pinched. And now what are you on the side of the road? Are you going to try to rewire it? I've done it. It's not fun, especially if it's raining or snowing and it's dark outside. You can do it. I mean, a guy can get out there with a flashlight and some crimpers and butt connectors and put your lights back together. But just the same way, everybody takes spare tools and flashlights and a jack and a tire. You take things for safety. You take things because accidents happen. There's problems come up on the road.
Go back.
There is no reason not to have one of these. These are lights that they magnet, punk, right on the back of your trailer. The other part plugs into your truck, and it works. And they're bright as hell. Sometimes people just run these things. They don't even fix theirs anymore. This is a different style. They don't even run their wiring anymore, especially if they have small trailers with no brakes. It doesn't matter. Now you got a big trailer with trailer brakes on it. These don't help your trailer brakes. In fact, you don't get no trailer brakes, but they will get you where you're going safely. Nobody's going to run into you. You're not going to get a ticket. It just doesn't seem. Now that I know these things aren't super expensive, they're not like $300. Now that I know about these, why wouldn't you carry one of these little boxes in your and they come with all the cords and everything. Why wouldn't you carry one with you? Why not have that? Just throw it in the back. Throw it in your trailer box. Throw it somewhere. Just don't throw it in the bed of a Ford that's built out of aluminum. You put a fucking hole in it. I think we've already covered that, have we not? Good. Glad you're coming along with me on that. Anyway, the moderators have this link if you guys want to get one of these. You guys want to get one of these for your man? Want to get these for yourself? There's a great gift for a boyfriend, your dad or something. Just saying, put it in there. It's an emergency. It isn't like, I'm not going to use this goddamn thing. My trailer lights work. It's for when there's a problem, an emergency, something comes up. You'd reach into your go bag. Emergency comes up, you reach into your go bag. Emergency comes up, you got these. I just thought I'd share it with you. We've used these now driving back and forth from California up to Minden so many times, so many trips. and the lights did work. We had a problem. We got these. Then one broke. We got another set because we lost one. That's fair to say.
You also just buy the replacement light. You don't have to buy the whole thing anymore.
Right. Well, anyway, the point of the story here is that you guys should have one. I mean, if you're smart enough to carry tools, you're smart enough to carry one of these. That's all I'm saying. Moderators can put up the link if you use the affiliate link. It helps us out because we don't get paid for any of this shit. So I'm just letting you guys know we do it for fun. We do it for free. But once in a while, if we pass something along that's helpful, you can let us know. Thank you. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
Douglas Famine on Facebook Blue.
Douglas Famine on Facebook Blue.
Thank you. Not everyone needs a goddamn Cummins turbo diesel Dodge Ram.
Yeah, no, you don't. That's for sure.
Shy on Facebook Blue.
Shy is on Facebook Blue. Well, she better be. Shy's moderating Facebook Blue. She's on staff. That better be where she is. You better not say, Shy, chiming in from Twitch. Better not hear that shit.
At what mileage should we add Lucas to our cars? Is there a recommended magic number?
You don't do it at the beginning. You don't do it on the break-in. Every guy will tell you. There's people to know, put it in right away. No, not true. Your break-in period, don't do it.
Tell them what you're talking about because they might not have heard me.
The question from Shiloh on Facebook Blue is, when do you add Lucas oil or, your preferred additive to transmissions and things? And there's guys out there that just tell you to put it right in. But engine builders, real engine builders, transmission builders, they tell you got to have a break-in period, and then you put the stuff in. So usually it's, a couple thousand miles, but definitely if you bought something used and you're already in the 25 to 45,000, change all your fluids out and put some stuff in there, whatever your favorite preferred additive is. You're not hurting anything. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
Okay, so that's going to double down on Shadowlight. He goes, what do you recommend for fuel treatment, Lucas? Different for older vehicles versus new vehicles?
If you have any GM diesel with a CP3 pump, there's kits that you can put on there now that save your engine. If you don't put one of these kits on there, it's going to cost you $10,000 to $12,000 when the fuel pump goes bad. It wipes out the engine. Pay attention to what I'm telling you. And it's not maybe it'll happen. It's not I wonder if it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to fuck up your whole day. There are kits now that filter the high pressure fuel system on that to keep all that shit out of your motor. And you got to find a good kit. And Dave's Auto Center, they make them and they install them, but you got to go to Utah to do it. But any good mechanic can put them on. But get a kit, put it on. You just saved yourself $12,000. But as far as what was the question again? We're talking about
fuel additive, fuel treatment.
Oh, fuel treatment.
Lucas, or is there older, newer? Doesn't matter?
Older and newer doesn't matter. The one I always used to use was BG. There was a 44K BG, and I'll tell you why. This is going to sound silly, and I think this is going to be my last question because I'm really not feeling well. I took a cylinder head one time, turned it upside down. Valves were, and the chamber was facing up. And a cylinder head, I left it sit all night on a bench. It was covered in carbon. I mean, you could sit there with a screwdriver, just chip off the carbon. Had a ton of miles on it. The carbon is all built up from fuel, and some oil bypass from the rings too. And I took some 44K. And I poured it because the valves are closed and the spark plug was in. I just poured it in there and let it sit. And there was a couple other additives we had at the shop. So it was 4-cylinder head. So I put a different one in each combustion chamber and went home for the night. Next time I came in the shop the next morning, I took the head and I dumped it out in the trash can and I set it back down. And I went to each one of those 4 with my finger and I just wiped it. I wanted to see how much it would dissolve of the carbon because that's what you're trying to get rid of. You're trying to keep the carbon off your valves. You're trying to keep it out of the head, off the pistons. You're trying to reduce that. And a good fuel additive keeps your injector clean and gets rid of the carbon. The 44K went right down to shiny metal. The other ones worked. There was some improvement. There was some cleaning on there. But the 44K went right down. So I still have some here from the old days. I'm not even sure if BG's still in business or if you can still buy 44K. But I used to put one can of 44K in every tank full. They also had an MOA, which there's a really cool story about me going to a class on MOA, and I was trying to outsmart the instructor at 20 years old. And there's a really cool BG MOA story. I can't breathe. I am literally running out of air here, guys. So it's like to the point of where I'm getting dizzy. and I don't feel good. So I'd love to stay and talk to you. I hope that answers your question, Dr. Shadowlight. But I'm going to have to sign off, you guys. I did make it about 45 minutes. I apologize for not being able to go longer, but I'm really at my limit. So thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys sticking it out with me this long. I don't ever want to miss a show. If we're committed to doing a show, a world show, off the record, garage show, I'm going to fucking be there unless I'm dying. Well, I'm dying and I'm here, but I have to excuse myself a little bit early, so I do apologize. Thank you guys for chiming in. Thank you guys for listening in. Remember 2 things: wherever you go, there you are. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'm out, baby. Now I got to find the off button. There even is one here. Good Lord!